Mallory, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome job. You were mentioning earlier that you are from a travel background, but your heart lies with going out and helping people in remote regions or in regions where there is abject poverty and see how you can uplift their economic lives. And you do that through your group, and then you go and you film them and work with corporate partners for corporate social responsibility initiatives.
Right.
So it's a great initiative, great job. Let me hear more about it.
Okay. As you said, I came from a traveler background. I was a backpacker that was just in love with the world. And I traveled to very remote regions and saw incredible poverty. Felt that if other people could be here with me, seeing what I'm seeing, meeting the people I'm meeting, feeling what I'm feeling, there's no way that they wouldn't want to help. So my goal is to bridge the gap between the people that need help and those that want to help back here. And there are so many companies, individuals, brands that are trying to give back but don't know how to. They don't know where to give or how to have a direct impact. So I create charity campaigns that provide them that immediate, on-the-ground, direct connection to a cause. And so I travel to remote regions of the world. I film schools and villages that need help. I do a lot for women's empowerment, trying to get small business loans to women in developing countries. And I tell their stories back home here to raise funds and gather support to help them improve their own lives.
And how is the fundraising done then, besides the corporates who pay you?
So I do a lot of crowdfunding. I work with CrowdRise and GoFundMe, and we publish fundraisers, spread them out through media contacts so that the average everyday person can donate $15 today, and they know it's going directly to help a child in Ethiopia. And they can see that child, know exactly how their donation's helping.
And what percentage of the funds go to the projects?
100% of everything I raise goes to helping people on the ground. I work as a service, and I'm hired by companies back here to run a campaign for their brand. But all the support that we raise, everything, it's all to help.
So as a business, what is the business model then for you?
So I work as it's an equivalent of an event coordinator. It's just, instead of it being a holiday party for our employees, I'm hired to run an engagement activity, a philanthropic activity that a company can participate in. So my supporters and sponsors back home, that's what makes it a business. And I run I'm an LLC, so it's a business that the end goal is to help people in the charity space.
And which parts of the world is there a particular area you focus on, or you're open to any and all areas?
I go everywhere. My goal is really to show that basic needs are universal, and that if I am in Cambodia this week and I'm in Nepal next week and the following week I'm in Kenya, you see the same people. It's the same problems. Everyone's working towards the same goal. So the more places that I can touch to show that we are all more alike than we are different. That's really my goal. So most of my campaigns are in a new location, somewhere I've never been before. Just add to my country list and proving my point that we are all more alike than we're different.
It's incredibly lucky for all of us to live in one of the most powerful nation on the face of the earth, which is the US. Economically, we are so prosperous. So it'll be interesting to learn from you so other people can see. There are a lot of emerging economies, and they're trying to ape the West in terms of economic successes. And they always go the wrong route, that 1 million, then 10 million, the 100 million, the billion, without understanding how they can actually give back and impact so many lives. So it'll be good to learn from you when you go from here to those parts of the region. I just want a couple of anecdotes from you. One, let's take an example of kids who literally sometimes have not even one square meal a day that they can afford. And then the other thing you mentioned earlier was women's empowerment. So if you have some anecdote, it'll be interesting to learn from you.
Yeah, I have two great ones. So I met a little boy named Johannes in Ethiopia. I was passing through his village, and he was so focused on getting an education. And in rural Ethiopia, school ends at the age of 8 because most kids go work in the fields. And so he left his family and his village at the age of 8 and started walking till he got to the closest city so that he could enroll himself into elementary school. And when I met him, he was 14 years old, and he had been on his own since he was 8, and he worked all night, and he studied all day and went to school all day, and he lived on $1 a day. And I've stayed in touch with him. He graduated from high school, and I'm now working to get his college sponsored.
Very nice.
But I mean this is just one kid who is so dedicated, so hardworking, and has such an appreciation for education that we really lack here. We take that for granted. And women's empowerment, today I'm telling a story of a village where I helped raise enough for that 30 women could start their own businesses on my 30th birthday. So that was my celebration act. For every year that I had been living, I wanted a woman to be able to start her own business. And was their first ever income that these women would receive. And I asked the women, this was also in Ethiopia, I asked, what's the first thing you're going to buy with your first paycheck? And they said, I'll go to the market and I will buy protein for my kids so that they can be smarter than I am. And it's just, that is so humbling, and that's the reason why I do everything I do.
I think it's a great work, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Continue the good work, and it's wonderful to have you and come and talk to us. Take care.
Thanks.